As the lungs of the Earth, the Amazon tropical rainforest absorbs vast amounts of carbon dioxide. Today, it faces an unprecedented crisis. Mining and food production are destroying the Amazon.
People in the world are eating Amazon. This is so stupid. This is so ignorant. We are losing Amazon forest.
Dry conditions caused by global warming have made matters worse. Forest fires are now a frequent occurrence.
No último ano a gente teve recorde até da série histórica, né, de aumento de incêndio, aumentou mais de 100% a quantidade de incêndios. A gente tem passado por ciclos constantes de seca aqui na Amazônia.
Scientists warn that unless action is taken, the area will become a savanna, and the Amazon rainforest will disappear.
The largest tropical forest on the planet, the largest biodiversity, the Amazon forest, is very close to the tipping point.
From November 10th, International Climate Change Conference, COP30, is taking place in Belém, Brazil, a town on the mouth of the Amazon River. Protecting the Amazon rainforest is a major area of focus. But the situation is dire. Extreme weather events have become commonplace, and 2024 saw our planet's average temperature reach new heights. The rise in temperature since the Industrial Revolution has already passed the danger point of 1.5 degrees Celsius. This comes as the Trump administration pulls out of the Paris Agreement.
We will drill, baby, drill.
Climate change policies are grinding to a halt. Scientists predict that unless action is taken, the Amazon rainforest will pass the tipping point, which will see it become a savanna. The disappearance of the rainforest, referred to as Amazon dieback, is no longer in the realm of fiction, but a potential reality. Amazon dieback would have a massive effect on the global climate and cause enormous damage to the food production systems that we depend on for survival. Will we be able to protect the Amazon rainforest?
Então, aí a gente já tem vamos dizer assim, uma coparticipação com a floresta e a nossa vida, né? Se a gente não cuidar dela, o que será de nós?
On this special episode of the Impacts COP30 series, we analyze the threat of Amazon collapse and explore ways to restore the rainforest. COP30 is taking place in Brazil. An emerging nation with a population of over 200 million, it's undergone extraordinary economic growth. Climate scientist Carlos Nobre has spent over 50 years studying the relationship between climate change and the Amazon rainforest. With a PhD in meteorology from MIT, Nobre has been fascinated by the Amazon since his student days. As a leading Brazilian scientist, he's played a role in the government's policy proposals for COP30, Nobra also took part in the Rio de Janeiro 1992 Earth Summit, which laid the foundation for today's international framework on climate change.
You don't know how to bring back an animal now extinct, and you can't bring back the forest that once grew where there is now a desert. If you don't know how to fix it, please stop breaking it.
Nobra was one of the early voices sounding the alarm on the Amazon's possible disappearance.
I was the first scientist 35 years ago, published 2 articles in Science and Journal of Climate, and that 35 years ago was, if deforestation becomes very, very large scale in the Amazon, then all southern Amazon will become a degraded savanna. But that was, kind of the future. But now, unfortunately, the Amazon, most of the Amazon forest is very close to a tipping point.
In 2024, Nobra accompanied then U.S. President Joe Biden on his visit to the Amazon. He expressed the urgency of the matter, stressing that climate change was moving more quickly than predicted.
The Amazon forest, an evolution of tens of millions of years, the largest tropical forest on the planet, store more than 150 billion tons of carbon, the largest biodiversity, but we have a tremendous risk of really losing hundreds of thousands of species.
The Amazon rainforest absorbs an enormous amount of CO2 through photosynthesis. Its trees and soil store around 150 to 200 billion tons of carbon, the equivalent of over a decade of global emissions. Holding around 20% of the world's fresh water, it's also a treasure trove of biodiversity. It's home to over 10% of our planet's species. Some 40 million people live alongside the forest, including 350 indigenous peoples. Is it possible that the bountiful Amazon forest could really disappear? Nobra has repeatedly warned of a tipping point. Once rising temperatures pass a certain threshold, changes in the climate system may become irreversible. For example, global warming exceeding 1.5 degrees Celsius will cause the die-off of up to 90% of low-latitude coral reefs. Beyond the tipping point of 2 degrees, they will face total extinction. The melting of ice sheets in Greenland will become irreversible. Even if humanity were to slash CO2 emissions in the future, the ice will continue to melt for thousands of years. Nobra says that irreversible change could happen in the Amazon.
Unfortunately, now, deforestation, degradation, fires, and global warming is putting the Amazon at the edge of a tipping point. If we continue with deforestation, degradation, fires, and global warming, if global warming exceeds 2 degrees Celsius, by 2050 we exceed the tipping point.
In 2024, average global temperatures exceeded 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels for the first time. 2 degrees is rapidly approaching. What will happen if we pass this threshold? The Amazon will dry out, no longer fulfilling its function as a rainforest. it's thought the area will become a massive savanna. This is known as Amazon dieback. Early signs are already present. Between 2023 and 2024, the Amazon suffered a historic drought.
Para nós aqui foi deserto do Saara, né?
Manaus, in northwestern Brazil, recorded its lowest water levels since 1902. The dried-up river and rising water temperatures led to countless fish and river dolphins washing up on the banks. Lower water levels caused difficulties with shipping. Coastal residents struggled with water and supply shortages.
Eu nunca vi uma seca desse jeito, continuar assim, de que forma a gente vai chegar lá?
One of the causes of climate anomalies is the El Niño phenomenon, which raises sea surface temperatures in the Pacific Ocean near the equator. This happened as global warming also caused rising sea surface temperatures in the Atlantic Ocean to the northeast of the Amazon. The drought also dealt a massive blow to the Amazon forest.
No último ano a gente teve recorde até da série histórica, né, de aumento de incêndio, aumentou mais de 100% a quantidade de incêndios.
In 2024 alone, around 130,000 square kilometers of the Brazilian Amazon burned. An area the size of Greece was lost. Fires in the Amazon produce the same volume of CO2 emissions as Germany does in an entire year. Dry conditions caused by global warming aren't the only thing pushing the Amazon rainforest closer to its tipping point. Deforestation by humans is another major factor. A paper published in science journal Nature in 2025 analyzed the last 35 years to conclude that 74% of the rainfall decline during the dry season was the result of human-driven deforestation. The area of virgin forest has dwindled rapidly in the last 40 years. The yellow areas show where development has led to logging of the tropical rainforest. 17% of the Amazon's total area has already been destroyed. Nobra and his colleagues are warning that once destruction exceeds 20%, the forest's water circulation mechanisms will no longer function. This could push the Amazon past its tipping point.
Amazon forest, tens of millions of years, evolved in a geological, ecological, hydrological evolution that's very efficient recycling water during the dry season. Of course, a lot of the rainfall goes down to the rivers, but a lot of rainfall goes deep, and then rooting systems of the forest capture that water, brings to the leaves, and then transpires the water. Deforestation exceeding between 20 and 25%, now we are 17%. We are going to exceed the tipping point, the forest dieback. We are going to lose 70% of the forest. It's self-degradation.
In a forest, rain lands on trees, then evaporates. It's also absorbed through the roots and released through the leaves. This process is called transpiration. Roughly half of fallen rain is returned to the atmosphere. As the largest rainforest in the world, the Amazon has its own unique system of water circulation, known as the flying rivers. Water vapor from the Atlantic cycles through rainfall and transpiration as it moves toward the Andes. Once it reaches them, it turns south. It brings rain to southern countries like Argentina on its way back to the ocean. However, deforestation causes rain to fall directly to the ground. It flows away as groundwater and doesn't return to the atmosphere. If the water cycle doesn't function, the region will become a savanna in an irreversible Amazon dieback.
This very efficient water recycling is the reason that 30 to 40% of rainfall in the Amazon depends on this water recycling. In all the southern Amazon, 1 million square kilometers deforested. During the dry season, the forest recycles much less water. The southern Amazon, the dry season, it was 3 to 4 months, now it's 4 to 5 months. If the dry season reaches 6 months, this is the climate envelope of the tropical savanna. No way to maintain the tropical forest of the Amazon.
One of Nobra's colleagues, Luciana Gatti, also studies the Amazon climate system. She's spent years observing the Amazon from the skies and measuring CO2 levels. In 2021, she published a shocking paper that stated the southeastern Amazon, where deforestation had progressed past 26%, was now a source of carbon dioxide.
The southeast of the Amazon now is a carbon source. This can mean that how much we are losing in degradation, in mortality, in decomposition and respiration is higher than the gross primary production. And then the resultant is an emission from the forest.
Early signs of Amazon dieback have already begun in the southeastern region. When will we reach the tipping point in which the entire Amazon begins an irreversible transformation into savanna? Scientists disagree on how to pinpoint a timeline for Amazon dieback. Nobra, in his team's analysis, suggests it will begin before 2050. With 17% of the area already deforested, only 3% remains before passing the danger point of 20%.
Within 30 to 50 years, there will be self-degradation up to 70% of the Amazon forest. That will release more than 250 billion tons of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The global effect is, of course, emissions of CO2, increasing the global warming.
Amazon dieback will have an immense effect on the planet. Nobra predicts the aridification of the entire South American continent, with Sao Paulo seeing severe water shortages. There's also a risk that infectious diseases currently trapped in the Amazon might emerge and spread. If vast amounts of carbon dioxide are released by the forest, it will accelerate global warming. Permafrost in Siberia will melt, releasing methane gas and causing even further warming. Air and ocean currents will shift dramatically, triggering changes in North America, Europe, and even to the monsoons in Asia. A domino effect will lead to extreme changes in the global climate. Nobre and Gatti say this could cause major difficulties in securing food supplies for a population of 8 billion.
It will be a wave of tipping point, because one region will influence another region, because this region don't reduce the temperature, then the temperature will become higher here, higher there, higher there. This is like a wave. It's important we understand that everything is connecting this planet.
In summer 2025, an event called the Global Tipping Points Conference took place in the UK. Climate scientists from around the world came together to discuss worst-case scenarios for global warming. Carlos Nobre spoke clearly of the danger to human existence if Amazon dieback cannot be prevented.
If we have deforestation exceeding 20% and warming 2 degrees, we are going to reach the tipping point. The planetary boundaries, if we really lose the Amazon, the tipping point, we are going to have the extinction of several thousand tree species. Forest loss will reduce the area for 50 to 70%, a 40% decrease in fresh water. So we are very, very close to the tipping point. Let's save the Amazon. Let's save the Amazonian people, because this is the Amazon we want and the planet wants. Thank you.
What is the current state of deforestation in the Amazon? We visit a region where major development has taken place. This blue line marks the area legally defined by the Brazilian government as the Amazon. Dr. Gatti's research revealed that the state of Mato Grosso in the Amazon southeast has become a source of carbon. Development is now pushing north into the state of Pará. Paragominas is home to 110,000 people. It has undergone rapid development since the 2000s, leading to the Amazon being dramatically cut back. The area around the town is now fields for cattle grazing and soybeans. Established in 2020, this ranch raises cattle for meat. It's run by an animal feed firm and covers 200 hectares. Nearly 800 cattle are kept here.
A gente chegou a fazer granja, né? Então a gente fazia poedeiras, tínhamos uma granja, mas era uma parte muito pequena do terreno, não chegava nem a, sei lá, 5, 10%. Então a área era toda mata.
Today, cattle are being shipped. Brazilian exports account for around 30% of the global beef market, making it the world's biggest exporter. China buys the most, followed by the US and Europe. The Amazon's destruction is on the hands of consumers around the world. Our next destination is a soybean farm. Once used for grazing, this area is being turned into soybean fields. Marcos Bombana has lived in Paragominas for 32 years. He now runs the 4,000-hectare farm with his family and 6 workers.
E viemos com a esperança de poder prosperar aqui na Amazônia, para plantar o alimento. Só que era era muito braçal, né? Não tinha uso de tecnologia. Então isso já é questão do ciclo do povoamento, né? Primeiramente, eu acho que vai muito da questão, o bioma Amazônia, a Amazônia em si, onde o Pará está colocado, é muito grande. Então, tem muitas áreas que não foram povoadas, né? Então tem essa questão do êxodo, do povoamento, que vai criando as cidades, os vilarejos, e consequentemente tem essas questões aí.
Brazil is also the world's largest exporter of soybeans. They're largely used to feed livestock such as chickens and pigs. Global capitalism has seen the Amazon become the livestock feed supply station for countries around the world. Japan is no exception.
O alimento é o combustível da vida. Se nós não tiver alimento na mesa de cada um de nós, nós não vamos conseguir sobreviver, né? Então, o produtor hoje ele é crucificado, mas ele é o cara que é as pessoas que alimentam o mundo.
In recent years, international companies have been moving into the Amazon and setting up vast plantations. Agribusiness has been one pillar supporting Brazil's economic growth. Some politicians express concerns about the focus on conservation and protecting the Amazon.
Mas a gente aqui tem problemas primários e é importante que o mundo veja como é que é a capital do Pará, por exemplo. Nós temos aqui problemas primários de saneamento, de alagamento, de infraestrutura, de poluição nas cidades. Então eu vejo que às vezes o foco é muito na preservação da floresta, da mata em pé, essa questão toda. E se esquece que nós temos aqui mais de 34 milhões de pessoas na Amazônia, né? A gente diz assim, a Amazônia é o pulmão do mundo, né? E por isso a gente carrega uma responsabilidade muito grande, além de que qualquer outro país. E isso nos onera bastante e freia o nosso desenvolvimento, freia a possibilidade da gente melhorar economicamente, né?
Balancing the environment and the economy is a constant struggle. But as the tipping point draws nearer, can Brazil afford to keep developing? Scientists urge serious consideration of the matter.
You know, I said people in the world are eating Amazon. This is so stupid. This is so ignorant. We are losing Amazon forest. That is our big climate change airbag. We continue sinking economically. Oh, the forest don't generate money, but the soybean plantation generate money. The cattle, the pasture generate money. And but if we lose our life, doesn't matter this money.
What can be done to stop deforestation? International environmental NGO Greenpeace has an office in Sao Paulo. It works with the government, using regularly updated satellite images to help observe deforestation.
We have a lot of alerts. Some will actually be important and relevant deforestation that is beginning.
The red and yellow dots are alerts showing changes in the forest. Some are errors, but if there's a concern that logging has taken place, members of the NGO immediately fly out to the site and report their findings to the relevant authorities.
And this is the square that we are now zooming in with real image, okay? So this is what we can see from the alerts, and this is the real image. You can see the area that has been cleared here.
In April, this area was forest. It was gradually cleared, and a square clearing had emerged by July. In August, fires were lit to get rid of tree stumps and other debris.
This is for cattle. Then it's the process they do to start with cattle and then claim that the land is being used for cattle production.
Former President Bolsonaro promoted development in the Amazon, but his successor Lula has hit the brakes on forest clearing. However, the biggest problem facing the forest appears to be ongoing illegal logging by criminal groups.
I think it's a really complicated thing that demands action now. So we do expect in this COP that we can take advantage of the fact that the COP will be happening in the Amazon to have a proper forest discussion and a result, an outcome that help us move forward on the way that we globally see our forests.
How can we stop Amazon dieback and protect the rainforest? Carlos Nobre says that we must stop further deforestation and begin regenerating the forest. This would involve switching to a form of agriculture that doesn't require the widespread destruction of the rainforest. It's called agroforestry.
We have a final vision to save the Amazon. Let's maintain a minimum of 70% of the forest protected, ideally 80%. Then 15 to 20% agroforestry systems.
Combining forestry and farming, agroforestry is a groundbreaking approach that could protect the Amazon. New trees are planted in areas where virgin forest has been cleared. Various crops and livestock are raised among them. The method draws on the knowledge of indigenous people who have enjoyed the Amazon's rich resources for thousands of years. It's an extremely productive approach which balances environmental preservation with economic profit. One town is pioneering the field of Brazilian agroforestry. "200 kilometers southeast of Belém, the venue of COP30, is Tomeaçu, a town developed by people of Japanese descent. This field was first planted 5 years ago.
Eu acho que por causa da combinação de imitação de uma floresta, né? Por que não entra doença? Eu acho porque ele vive em harmonia. Primeiramente, foi plantado tudo junto, né? Mas o que dá no primeiro ano seria a banana, que está aqui. Tem a macaxeira que foi plantado junto também.
Agroforestry turns a higher profit per area unit, earning more than double that of ranching or soybeans. The main crop here is cacao, which is a high earner.
Aqui está o cacau, né? E ela pode produzir de 20 a 25 anos.
Cacao thrives in shade, so it pairs well with tall trees native to the Amazon. Those trees shed leaves, which act as a natural fertilizer, aiding organic farming. Oil palm and acai also have a high market value. They bear fruit from around their third year and can be harvested over a long period of time. "25 years after this field was planted, the treetops have begun to overlap. It resembles an area of natural forest. Even 50 years after planting, cash crops can be replanted to provide an ongoing income."
Que apesar de estar no sistema agrofloresta, o Dendê produz mais do que no monocultura. Isso já está comprovado. Aí você soma muito mais financeiramente.
A team from Meiji, a major Japanese food manufacturer, have come to Tomeyasu. They're visiting cacao farmers they work with. They propose using new technology developed in Japan to improve agroforestry profitability.
実はこれカカオの種なんですけれども、これには薄皮がついてまして、そこの部分はチョコレートには使わないで捨てられてしまうんですね。でその部分を使って私たち実はバイオプラスチックを作ってまして、この名刺そのバイオプラスチックからできているんです。
The firm is looking to make forest-friendly chocolate. It worked with a biochemical manufacturer to make bioplastic from the thin skin found on cacao beans imported to Japan. The technology is already seeing commercial use. Today, they're presenting the company's project to the Tomeyasu Farmers Co-op.
カカオをチョコレートにするために工程で捨てられてしまう部分に価値がもっと出てくれば、この一つのカカオの実から得られる利益とか価値が高まるんじゃないかというふうに考えています。皆さんもよく目にしているであろうこのカカオのフルーツの殻ですね。この活用法がないかということを検討してきました。
The company plans to make bioplastics from the cacao pod husks that are currently discarded in local fields.
約3000トンの収穫は取れると思うんですよ。だからそういうふうな付加価値をかけて、こういうふうな形だったらしやすいのではないかなと思いますね。
They hope to provide the bioplastic production technology, buy the resulting products, and return the profits to the Brazilian farmers. This isn't all that cacao pod husks have to give.
カカオからセラミドというものを生み出せるカカオセラミドです。でセラミドってご存知かどうかあれですけども、化粧品などにも使われる保湿成分でお肌に塗ったりとかですね、食べたりすることでお肌に潤いが保たれる。
The company has managed to extract this particularly rare and valuable material. They are already adding it to chocolate and are considering developing cosmetics, which are even more profitable.
今まで捨ててた分からこう作るっていう技術はものすごくいいと思いますね。こういう技術のない我々の国で、難しいっていう話になりますけど、頑張ってみたいと思います。
やっぱり森林を保護していく、守っていくためには資金面も必要ですし、やっぱりカカオ産地で一定の利益を生み出せる構造が必要だと思うので、そこに貢献していけるんじゃないかなと思います。
Agroforestry, that's the science that the indigenous people developed for thousands and thousands of years. If we have 1 million square kilometers with agroforest systems, the production of biodiversity products will be sufficient to feed not only the Amazonian countries, but the world.
Supporting agroforestry, stopping deforestation, and regenerating forest will require massive sums of money. A global fund was launched in the lead-up to COP30 in Belém. It's called the Tropical Forests Forever Facility, or TFFF.
O TFFF não é caridade. É investimento na humanidade e no planeta, contra a ameaça de devastação pelo caos climático. Muito obrigado.
The Brazilian government has spent 2 years gathering support for the TFFF in preparation for COP30. The fund is an international framework for supporting the conservation of tropical forests around the world, from the Amazon to Africa and Southeast Asia.
They are looking for $125 billion, $25 billion from governments, and $100 billion for private financial sector. And this is not donation, this is investments. That's a very innovative concept.
From the TFFF's $125 billion fund, a percentage of investment yields, around $4 billion annually, will be paid out to countries with tropical forests. The sum given to each country will be pegged to the amount of forest it governs. There are plans to use satellite imagery to monitor this. In a groundbreaking plan, no less than 20% of the amount provided to each country will be reserved for indigenous peoples and traditional communities.
The government will put also a lot of this money for these indigenous communities to produce biodiversity products, to industrialize biodiversity products, to create this new social bioeconomy. So this fund will be very important to give a scale for this new social bioeconomy.
But as the US turns its back on climate change policies, there is still no firm schedule on when the funds will be raised. How many countries can COP30 convince to sign up to the TFFF? The Amazon rainforest holds the key to global climate systems, yet it faces an urgent crisis. New data from October 2025 analyzes NASA satellite images of the Amazon from the previous year. Forest fires and other factors have driven up CO2 emissions enormously above baseline across the region, as indicated by the red areas. The tipping point is closer than ever.
We we are raising our voices and demanding action and demanding commitment in a broader approach. There is no 1.5 without the Amazon. So this is something that we need to collectively see. And again, there is no Amazon without the 1.5 as well.
People don't understand why the rivers now have less volume, why the springs have produced less water, why it's more hotter, why we have more extreme events. We need to change the way we live. Everybody needs to understand this, because change is hard. But if you understand, we are compromising the life in Earth. We have strong feelings to weigh what you eat, what you consume, the way you live.
We have to combat the climate emergency, we have to keep removing CO2 from the atmosphere up to 2100 to avoid the tipping points, including the Amazon tipping point. How? Restoring vegetation all over. And then you will not let the temperature exceed 1.5 degrees. So that's, I would say, the big solution we need for the planet.
The island of Kochuba lies in the Amazon River, off the coast of Belém. A local NGO has invited children on a visit to plant trees. They will plant saplings of 20 species that are native to the forest.
Cuidado para tu também. Dá uma plantadinha também, levantar. Aí mesmo uma altura. Tá. Aí, mais importante é tirar.
1, 2, 3. Viva a natureza!
Olha, nossa família, a gente é descendente indígenas, né? Então, aí a gente já tem uma vamos dizer assim, uma coparticipação com a floresta e a nossa vida, né? Se a gente não cuidar dela, o que será de nós? Que onde muita gente deve preservar, muito de bem destrói. Assim, a gente tenta agregar o máximo que a gente pode, porque, como diz o ditado, uma andorinha só não faz verão, né? Assim, cada árvore que a gente planta é uma respiração pra gente.
Can humanity come together to save this life-giving forest for future generations? It's a question each of us must be ready to answer.